We're getting away from the manual way of doing business in the city of Cleveland. We're going to go to curbside recycling, which would actually be better for the city and also for the residents too. The less that we put into the landfill will be more of a financial savings for the city, and also that's less garbage that's going into the landfill. Recycling is easy as 1, 2, 3. You bag them, you put them into the blue container, you roll it to the curb, and the truck will do the rest. We're committed to making Cleveland a cleaner, greener city of choice.
It is a date with destiny, the King of the Ring boxing series right here on TV 20, and this is the 8th installment. Hello, everybody. I'm Ronnie Slam Duncan. Glad to be with you once again on TV 20 here in Cleveland, Ohio. And this time we're coming from the Masonic Temple, a place where boxing is historic. And we've got the King as well as the Queen of the Ring. Young men and women from throughout Canada, the United States right here in Cleveland, as well as New York, Michigan, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So when we come back, we'll talk about boxing like we've never seen it before. And to hype it up, you should have seen what happened at Chicago Chicken and Waffles. There was the weigh-in, and fighters got in each other's faces, and fighters were ready to go, because this is all about the King of the Ring. Today's matches on King of the Ring, we have Steve Cunningham Jr. taking on Khalil Abdullah, Salvino Cerrone taking on Derek King, Kamal Abdullah versus Ronzimio Ford, Kawadi Manu taking on Tyshawn Denison, Asia Smith in a battle against Kahanda Wynn, Kemp Traver taking on Marcel Bonner, and Aman Kadula taking on Morel McCain. Once again, it's amateur boxing at its best, and this time is coming to you from the Masonic Temple. Hello, everybody. Ronnie Slam Duncan, along with my color analyst, giving the expert commentary because he's a former pro at 13-1 and a celebrated amateur throughout Northeast Ohio, Wilkins Santiago. Once again, the stage has been set. This venue is a big one, getting you ready for the big time. What would have happened if the King of the Ring boxing series was around when you were boxing? How well would it have prepared you for your professional career?
Oh, it would have made a big difference in my professional career. These kids are definitely there. It's a great opportunity for these kids to expose, themselves out there in the boxing world, get to the next level. And, thanks to the King of the Ring, that's what they're doing for these young kids out there, giving them the best opportunity they can get and a well journey for themselves.
It's hot under the lights. Get ready to throw down. There's going to be a beatdown in C-Town. It's the King of the Ring boxing series, series number 8. We'll come back with much more. So stay with us, TV 20, because we are Cleveland.
Car crashes, accidents.
We're telling you
why be next.
So listen to us. Don't drive and text.
Keep Cleveland safe and do not text when you drive.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we've held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly was still there. Oh, say, does that star spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Charlotte Williams. And now, here to sing the Canadian National Anthem, please welcome Perry Meyer. Oh, Canada, our homeland's native land, true patriot love, in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And now, boxing fans, introducing our first bout of the evening. It is in the 129-pound division. Please welcome to the ring, Stephen Cunningham Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here at the Masonic Temple. Masonic Temple live in Cleveland, Ohio. About to step into the ring is Steve Cunningham Jr., who just spoke without Alexis Haywood.
Thanks, Ronnie. I'm here with Steve Cunningham Jr. You're about to hit that ring. Do you know anything about your opponent?
I know that he punches a lot, punches fast, and he's lighter than me, so all I got to do is keep moving, do what I got to do.
Okay, it looks like he's ready for the win. Can you tell us anything about the Cleveland versus Pittsburgh rivalry, since you are a Pittsburgh native?
No, I'm from Philly. I just moved to Pittsburgh. I don't know nothing about it.
Okay, we have it there. Now let's go to the fight.
And entering the ring right now is Steve Cunningham Jr. If the name sounds familiar, with Wilkins Santiago, he should sound familiar. His father was a former cruiserweight champion, the man who exposed Tyson Fury, Steve USS Cunningham. We'll talk more about that. But the young man he'll be fighting is Khalil Abdullah out of Cleveland, Ohio, from the DNA Level C Boxing Club. And he'll be fighting Steve Cunningham Jr. out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Boxing Club, and I tell you, that is going to be one heck of a fight for our opening match. Now, come on, let's face it. When you turn as a pro, and even when you were an amateur, at one point you had to be that first fight of the night. Being that first fight, there's a lot of jitters you can have.
Definitely. You know, as much as I can recall, there's been a few times where I was the first fight, and you know, you're kicking off the show. You gotta come out here and show these crowd, these people that come in and fill these seats, that you want to show them all the hard work you've been putting in that gym and the dedication you've sacrifices that you've made day in and day out, and come out here and perform, give these people what they come here to see.
Well, Khalil Abdullah is only 14 years old. He's had 10+ fights, and he is a right-hander. However, he says he's ambidextrous. He can fight with his right and left hand. Let's go to Paul Schill for our official introductions.
Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He represents the Pittsburgh Boxing Club, all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Stephen Cunningham Jr. And his opponent fights out of the blue corner, representing the DNA Level C from Cleveland, Ohio. He is Khalil Abdullah.
These guys are fighting in the 129-pound weight class. This will only be a 3-round fight, but here's the difference. They are only fighting 2 minutes per round. And the reason for that, Wilkin Santiago, is simply what?
Basically, it depends on the division they're at. More than likely, they're either below the open division. Open division fighters usually fight 3-minute rounds. They're either intermediate fighters or, they're either intermediate fighters or there's another division out there. I think things change so much. But as I can recall, open fighters, we do get the 3 minutes. Anything under that.
Well, of course, you've got a referee in the ring, and he is the one, Freddie Osario. Freddie Osario out of Puerto Rico. I was talking to Freddie prior to the fight, and he's very concerned about his family and friends back in his native Puerto Rico. Opening round between Steve Cunningham Jr. and Khalil Abdullah. Khalil Abdullah in the red top. Cunningham Jr. is in the black.
These boys came out strong, man. They're coming out. They're out there trying to get that victory, man. This is very important tournament for these guys.
Well, they recognize there's only 2 minutes in this round,
right.
And that's why you've got to bring those punches. And as you can see, with the barrage of punches and being able to be effective, as Steve Cunningham Jr.
Definitely. He's landed some heavy hooks in there. Nice boxing routine he's got going on. Using his footwork a lot.
Steve Cunningham Jr. is one of those typical fighters who comes from the bloodline of fighting. We were just talking about his father, Steve USS Cunningham. And Steve is no stranger to the Cleveland area because he used to be trained by Richie Giacchetti, the late Richie Giacchetti, the Richie Giacchetti who trained Larry Holmes, as well as Mike Tyson. So once again, it shows that bloodline. It shows that consistency of great nurturing and nurturing of boxing right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Round number 1 between these two young men, Steve Cunningham Jr. and Khalil Abdullah, and they are banging.
Yeah, nice. They're throwing some nice punches in there. As you can see, Cunningham Jr., he's a switch fighter. He's going orthodox and he's going southpaw. You got to be careful when you're making that transition in there, especially with someone with heavy hands.
Well, Steve appears to have some heavy hands very similar to his father, who as a cruiserweight and light heavyweight was a knockout artist. It wasn't until he had to chase the money to go to the heavyweight division that we saw something totally different from him.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're stepping it up, man. Nice left hand by Cunningham.
And that left hand was a setup because he waited for that opening that time by Khalil Abdullah.
He just got caught with one there.
And both fighters are bringing it on. And Khalil Abdullah is coming on to Steve Cunningham. But Cunningham comes right back here in round number 1.
These boys throwing heavy bombs. They're starting to see little signs of fatigue here and there.
Well, they came out on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is bell for round number 1. Once again, when you talk about the different gyms from the end of Cleveland, it's the DNA Level C Boxing Club, and that's Khalil Abdullah. You see him right there. Let's go to highlights here in the first round, and as you can see, both of these young men are winging, but you can see how Cunningham was able to get out of the way of a lot of that assault that time by Abdullah.
Yeah, he was throwing a lot of heavy shots, man. You got to be careful when you're throwing heavy shots like that. Not only are you missing punches, but you're losing a lot of energy in there.
But you're losing a lot of energy because of the simple fact that you're off balance.
Right.
What I did like about what I did see in round number 1 was Steve Cunningham Jr., and there he is. Every time he missed, he would try to set up a jab just to get back into the rotation and get into a great rhythm of the fight.
Yeah. Well, the jab is the key to everything, man. The jab sets up every punch after that.
If you just tuned in and wondered what you're watching right here on TV 20, we are Cleveland. It is the King of the Ring. This is our 8th edition. And, of course, we're coming to you from the Masonic Temple right here in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. A place where they had Showtime here not long ago with Charles Conwell Jr., who happened to be another graduate of the King of the Ring here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Abdullah landed some nice punches there. Nice jab right there to keep Cunningham off his balance. Good matchup here.
Evenly matched. The matchmaker for all of our fights tonight is Push Davis. Marlon Push Davis, fine professional, even a better amateur coming out of the Cleveland, Ohio area. I just mentioned Charles Conwell Jr., Olympian. And of course, Isaiah Steen, another graduate of King of the Ring. Past Cleveland All-Star amateurs are like Mickey Bay, who ended up being the former WBA lightweight champion. Both fellas get a little roughed up there. Sean Porter, the former IBF welterweight champion. Willie Nelson, who we'll be hearing from a little bit later in the show, as well as Ron Johnson, Terrell, of course, Yonel Evans, and of course, Magic Juan McPherson, some of the top amateur names that have come out of the Cleveland, Ohio area. One thing that's helped Abdullah here is that Cunningham has a variety of wide punches that I've seen so far here in round number 2. And Khalil Abdullah has taken advantage of that by countering.
Just throwing straight shots, and Cunningham Jr. is throwing wild shots. So Abdullah's definitely going to get there first, make contact first, and that's what the judges look for. They like to see when a fighter's making contact, not just wasting shots, wasting energy in there.
Well, you're talking 2 14-year-old young men, right at the start of their amateur careers. Obviously, they have Junior Olympics on their mind, Olympics on their mind, and perhaps becoming a future world champion. And it can happen right here at the Cleveland, Ohio area. It's the King of the Ring Boxing Series, edition number 8. Ronnie Duncan along with Wilkins Santiago. This is the second round of a 3-round contest between Steve Cunningham Jr. and Khalil Abdullah.
Good fight so far.
Your observations from the first 2 rounds, and who do you have winning the fight? Because it's a lot different. If you're watching amateur boxing for the first time here in TV 20, I want Wilkins to break it down for you somewhat as we take a look at some of the highlights here in round number 2.
That was a good over-the-top left hand by Abdullah. He got caught with the jab cross there because he got too wide, and he was off balance there. So he was able to adjust himself and catch his composure.
As we were trying to tell our audience before we looked at the slow motion, talk about the difference in scoring as a professional fighter, the difference in scoring tonight as an amateur fighter.
Well, in the amateurs, basically, you got 3 rounds to get it done. You got to leave it all in the gym, leave it all in the ring. That's what you do in the gym. You leave it all in the gym. And in boxing, I mean, in the professional side of it, you stay busy, but at the same time, you got to be a thinker in there. You got to make sure they're on an elite level, so they've seen it all. So you got to make sure you come in with a great game plan.
All right, round number 3. Steve Cunningham Jr. taking on, of course, Khalil Abdullah. Cunningham Jr. didn't even want to take a sip of water from his father in between the break. Right now, the referee is making sure that that water that's spilled is cleaned up for the safety of the fighters. Khalil Abdullah getting that jab. What I'm impressed with Khalil Abdullah is that he does not mind fighting in close.
No, they're throwing, but they're kind of wild, too. They got to be careful in there. Oh, nice punch.
Oh, nice left hand that time by Steve Cunningham Jr. as
nice
he has
defense as well.
Abdullah up against the rope. They are banging. Both young men. It's nice to be 14.
Yep, nice shot by Abdullah. He just caught him with a good right hand.
Cunningham caught Abdullah as well.
Yeah, they know this round's a very important round. The first 2 rounds were kind of tight. This round here basically dictate who walks away with this round.
Nice crowd on hand as Productions Plus Productions with Doug Patterson is our promoter of tonight's fights.
It's like Abdullah's more the aggressor now. This is a time in the last and final round. You got to show these refs that you're the pressured fighter.
Abdullah has been the guy. He's in the red top. Cunningham in the black top. Steve Cunningham Jr.'s father, a former world champion, trying to follow in the footsteps of his daddy. Nice left hook to the body that time, but nothing seems to stop or intimidate Abdullah.
Yeah, he's right in front of his face. You can see signs of fatigue from both fighters. Nice exchange on both sides.
And I think Cunningham that time got the better of both.
It's like Abdullah's tired. You can see his mouthpiece hanging out a bit. Nice right hand, though.
Straight right hand to Cunningham.
Uppercut, body shots.
Cunningham. And those are the type of shots that impress the judges at ringside here in an amateur contest. Putting it all on the line in our first bout.
3 left hands by Cunningham. That was nice. Nice way to bounce back.
It will be a very tight fight to score.
Good fight.
Perhaps a difference in the fight will be maybe a margin of just some of the punches. Freddie Osario happened to be the referee. Freddie did an excellent job of making sure neither one of these young men got hurt. Let's take a look at some of the action of round number 3. And as you can tell, there's Cunningham. That was 4, 5, 6 punches that time by Cunningham. And maybe that will make the difference in this fight. The volume of punches and how many times Cunningham was able to get the job done had to be impressive.
I think this last round basically dictates who the winner is.
It's all about the volume of activity.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is what is impressive to the judges. You're talking about Khalil Abdullah, 14 years old. He's only had 10+ fights. He could go right or left. There you have, of course, Steve Cunningham Jr. saluting all of the judges as well as the crowd. And going to the corner right now to see his dad or Steve Cunningham Jr. I am not going to even try to speculate who won this fight. I believe it was that close. And it all depends on how the judges at ringside scored it, because it was a very difficult fight to score.
Definitely, it definitely was. Depends what, you know, what each man, they had their own eyes on how they view fights. It was a very tight fight. It's hard to call.
Once again, we're coming to you from the Masonic Temple in downtown Cleveland. It's the King of the Ring Boxing Series number 8, The War, the USA against Canada, and it's also North against the South. And obviously, there will be a championship trophy that will go to the champion, and there will be a medal for the individual who finishes second. But the great thing about King of the Ring, and we've heard it from so many amateurs and even professionals who happen to be on hand, this is a great wake-up call for someone who is an amateur boxer.
Definitely. Great exposure.
Absolutely. Not only great exposure, but you're on television. So you're under the hot lights. And you know exactly what it's like to fight in a big tournament and to fight for big medals.
Definitely. Being someone who has fought on TV as a professional, never got the opportunity as an amateur. I'm sure these kids, they feel great inside. They know that they gotta put that work they've been putting in the gym. They gotta definitely show out to them.
Let's go up to our ring announcer, Paul Schill, who happens to have the winner of the fight.
Here we go. This bout was sponsored by the Motown, a comedy club coming up real soon in Cuyahoga Heights. Cuyahoga Falls, pardon me. So, again, Motown Comedy Lounge coming up very, very soon, opening in next month. Okay, look for that. Okay, after 3 action-packed rounds of boxing, your winner fights out of the blue corner, Khalil Abdullah.
So there you have it, Khalil Abdullah. We saw him at the weigh-in on Friday, and he said it didn't make a difference who he was fighting. He wanted to fight. Khalil Abdullah happens to be in that bloodline of fighting. Coming up a little bit later, we're going to hear from Kamal Abdullah, who happens to be the brother of Khalil Abdullah. So right here in Cleveland, Ohio, you got the Mason brothers, you got the Abdullah brothers, and of course you even have even more fighters who are from the same family bloodline, and yet they're fighting here on King of the Ring Boxing.
You couldn't come from a better gym with 2 brothers, DNA Level C Boxing Club. You know?
DNA. It's all in the DNA.
It's in that
It's all in the DNA. Celebrities on hand. We got Sircone, one of the best rappers in the city. Just saw him show up. It's been a great night and a great time. And I want to thank some of our great sponsors who have helped here with the King of the Ring, like Chicago Chicken and Waffles. We went there for that weigh-in, and that was so impressive to see these young men and these young women, how they were able to talk on the microphone, how they were able to engage the crowd, and then they did the face-off. All of that stuff was so much fun to see. Let's get ready for our next bout of the evening. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Paul Schill, who's standing by to introduce our fighters as they come into the ring. It is the King of the Ring Boxing Series here on TV 20. We are Cleveland. Ronnie Duncan along with Wilkin Santiago as we get ready to bring our next fighters into the ring with the very own Paul Schill. Let's hear from Paul.
Okay, please welcome to the ring, Sircone.
Silvio Sircone out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, part of the Pittsburgh Boxing Club. He'll be fighting the 138-pound weight class. And of course, this young man says, hey, I'm ready to fight. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Doesn't mind about the whole rivalry, whether he's fighting somebody from Pittsburgh or whether he's fighting someone from Cleveland. And coming into the ring right now will be Derek King, 138-pounder out of Cleveland, Ohio, from the Untouchable Boxing Academy. The Untouchable Boxing Academy, if that's the case, Wilkin Santiago, I would think his defense coming from the Untouchable Boxing Academy must be pretty tight.
Welcome to the ring, the very beautiful ring girl, Michelle.
And, you know, I was just talking about him not too long ago, folks. One of the best accomplished rappers in the city, Sircone. I told you he was in the house, and he just came by ringside to say hello. Now let's get ready for, of course, our individuals who are in the ring, and the man who's going to be calling all the action, the one and only Paul Shield, who will introduce our fighters as they get ready for this 3-round competition in the 138-pound weight class. And everybody's ready to get it on. Yes, we've got Silvio. Let's go, Paul.
You marking the winners and all that too? You marking the winners and losers?
Fighting out of the red corner. He represents the Pittsburgh Boxing Club from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Silvio Sircone.
Pittsburgh Punisher.
And an opponent fights out of the blue corner. He represents the Untouchable Boxing Academy from Cleveland, Ohio. Please welcome Derek King.
Well, there you have it, our two fighters, Silvio Sircone out of Pittsburgh, and, of course, Derek King from the Untouchable Boxing Academy in Cleveland, Ohio. Sircone is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he's got that black and yellow on.
You see that? That black and yellow.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. It's all about the Pittsburgh Punisher, Sircone, taking on, of course, Derek King out of the Untouchable Boxing Club. Derek King is in the blue top. And, of course, in the red is a young man out of Pittsburgh, Silvio Sircone.
Nice right hand.
Sircone just got hit with a right hand that time by Derek.
The boy's looking sharp.
Derek King wants to be a king of the ring. Look at that right hand once again. And he continues to bring it. He brings the heat, gets the body work, and it made Sircone take 2 or 3 steps back.
That body, that's dangerous, man. You hit to the body, that changes everything.
Sircone gets a left hand that time. And once again, Derek King continues to bring the pain. Derek King with a nice left hook that time, and it caught Sircone in his straps. Derek King keeping that jab moving. Once again, another right hand that time by Derek King to the body. He just missed with another right hand on Sircone.
Good work on both sides.
Silvio Sircone right now is bleeding from the nose here in round number 1, and it had to be the punishment he's taking with that jab from Derek as well as that right hand.
Right hands are coming in all the time. He's got to carry that left hand up.
Take a deep breath, Derek King. This fight could be yours, especially here in the first round, because he's found a home for that right hand on the head.
Be careful. He's switching southpaw now too.
Sircone calls himself the Pittsburgh Punisher, and look at Derek King. That is beautiful work on the inside, followed by a nasty right hand and another right hand by Derek King, and the combination continues to bring the blood out of the nose of Sircone. Sircone misses. Nice Derek King with a great defense, spinning him around.
Nice duck and weave.
Derek King is a fine young amateur. All you had to do is see him one time in the ring and recognize the type of quality. He does look a little tired going back here to the corner, but you have to be impressed with what you saw here in round number 1 from Derek King.
He looks sharp, man. He looks sharp. Switch fighter, too. Just got to be careful when you do that sometimes when you got a fighter with heavy hands in front of you.
There you go, the nice left hook. And as you can see, watch what happens as he comes out of this. Yes, Sircone comes across with a shoe shine, didn't do much damage, and he was able to hit King on the hip. Not often do you see that. And this is not some of the better action from King. And King is really getting tossed around by Silvano.
Good round. Good first round to start this off.
Good first round, but I'm telling you right now, and I saw plenty of good action from that young man in the blue corner, and he's taking some deep breaths. He looked like he was a little exhausted after round number 1. He said to himself, hey, I know I'm 138 pounds, but my goodness, man, it was all on the line out there.
He's throwing a lot of heavy shots. Some of those he missed. That takes a lot from you.
Coming up a little later, we've got around Simeon Ford. He'll be taking on Kamal Abdullah. And this is going to be the Cleveland against Akron matchup. That will be our next bout of the evening here on TV 20. You talked about that switching over, and Derek King switched over right away. Derek's got some heavy hands, but he has found, once again, that right hand has found a home. What a combination he has been putting on his opponent out of Pittsburgh.
He's keeping his hand too low. You got to keep that hand up.
Oh, that right hand once again. Derek King continues to deliver, and it's the body punch and the uppercut. Derek King fighting back, but look out. He got caught from the young man out of Pittsburgh with blood coming out of his nose. I'm talking about Sircone, that is. Sircone fighting tough. Oh, what a left hook that time.
He's throwing heavy shots.
Followed by a right hand. Oh, and now he's giving it back to the body to Derek King. It's a great fight. Good fight.
And they're looking sharp, both guys.
And they recognize the value of body punching even as young fighters. Was that a slip to the knee?
Yeah, that was a slip.
That was a slip to the knee, but I told you maybe when it comes to total exhaustion, that could be something that we could be experiencing right now with Derek. Because Derek has been throwing a lot of punches.
Right hands
but I'm telling you right now, that right hand has found a home, and the home is the top of the head and the dome of Sircone.
Sircone still, he's right there in front of his face. He's not backing down. He's showing his great boxing skills as well. Definitely a good fight.
But he's not moving his head.
Yeah, he's
and
not
that's
moving.
The reason why he's being hit with those right hands.
Caught with those right hands.
You've got to move your head.
He's got to get out that corner now.
He's got to get off the corner, and it's evident that he does not take a body blow extremely well.
Nice right
but
hand.
There's that heavy right hand himself.
Good spin to get out the wing
Sircone out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Nice left hook.
Nice left hook that time by Sircone. Well, we've gone through 2 rounds of action between both of these young men. And I have to admit, I'm very impressed.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Good fight on both sides, man. They're both showing their hearts in there. They're both showing their skills. And, you know, the best man's going to come out this next round and try to prove victory.
Please welcome Becky to the ring.
Look at that. Nice right hand. See how that right hand found a home that time? That's what I loved about Derek King. And then he came with the right down the left. That was about 4 right hands in a row. Wow. And he recognized that the left-right combination has found a rhythm, and the rhythm is on top of the head. Wow, he just missed that time with that right hand, but he continues with that high volume of punches. Yes, that uppercut was vicious. When I saw it, when it happened live, I was saying to myself, oh my goodness.
Sircone didn't back up, though. He kept coming.
Yeah, he did, but you have to recognize Sircone is a heavier puncher.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe he's had a lot of success in gyms, or a lot of success in his amateur career where he could just basically go to someone and just hit him and it goes down. He's 16 years old. He's had 50 plus fights, and he's a right-hander.
Wow.
Sylvia Sircone in the red top out of Pittsburgh. See that right hand that time by Sircone? Right down the middle.
Nice jab.
He's trying to find that right hand himself. And that right hand that he's throwing is coming across 76 and looking for Interstate 80 on the Ohio-Pennsylvania Turnpike.
If you notice, anytime he sets the jab to the body, he gets that right hand in there clean.
Let's look at the action here in round number 3, because both fighters recognize what has to happen here in round number 3. They realize this fight is up for grabs.
Yeah,
we're going to shut up and just let the action speak for itself. Both young men holding on. They're a little fatigued.
See the blood still coming out of Sircone's nose.
He just missed King with a right hand over Sircone.
This is the time where King's 3rd round, he's got to let some punches go. You can tell the punches ain't as sharp as they were in the 1st, 2nd round.
Absolutely, Wilson Santiago. I can see where Derek has been throwing more arm punches instead of really throwing sharp punches as he did in rounds 1 and 2.
Those heavy shots, they end up taking a toll later in the fight. Right now is the time where Sircone got to put pressure on him.
But it's also the time where Derek doesn't have to look fatigued in the ring. Derek doesn't look as strong as he did in rounds 1 and 2. His mouth is wide open,
you can tell his
and
power diminished.
He's simply winging his punches. Where Sircone is punching at a higher volume and a stronger punch. Look at him. Even though the pitter-pats, even though he says, I'm shoe-shining you up against the ropes, look out for something big from the young man in red. It's going to be interesting. Both young men were fatigued here in the third and final round of this 3-round competition, but they went the distance and they gave their all. So if you're judging this fight, if you're Clifford Pinckney, you're probably saying to yourself, wow, who did I like if I'm Clifford Pinckney in this fight? Who did I like in this fight? So Clifford's on ringside sitting with us, and he's basically like Freddie Pacheco. And by the way, God bless his soul, the late Dr. Freddie Pacheco just passed away. But let's take a look at some of the action here in round number 3. Difficult fight to score, but there's that shoe shining by Sircone. And Sircone was able to get things done here in round number 3. Maybe the busier fighter, the more accurate fighter, but he was the more conditioned fighter here in round number 3.
Definitely.
Both fighters winding up for big punches. It's going to be interesting to find out exactly how our judges see the fight. I'm going to be honest with you. I would not have an objection to seeing either one of these young men win. Very much similar to our first fight of the evening. We'll see how 2 fighters up there pretty soon. We're going to find out who's the winner. And who comes to judge? Well, the judge is in the house. We'll find out what I'm talking about in just a few minutes. Let's go, of course, to our ring announcer, Paul Shield, who happens to be at ringside. Paul's going to come up and tell us exactly who won this fight. A tightly contested fight, and one that has to be a winner. Let's hear it from Paul.
Okay, boxing fans, first and foremost, this bout is sponsored by newly judge-elect. Please welcome Judge Mike Nelson. And now, after 3 action-packed rounds of boxing, your winner fights out of the blue corner, Derek King.
So Derek King gets that decision, but I can tell you right now, that was a very tight fight to score when you consider that both of these young men threw a high volume of punches. I think that 3rd round, you've got to give to Silvano. However, when you look at the overall build of work, it goes to Derek King. Derek King was impressive.
Definitely. He landed some good over the top crosses. Connected with the left hook to follow. Sometimes he slipped that uppercut in there as well. It was a great fight overall.
Good fight and a good time. And obviously, with our judges and our referees, the most important thing for our fighters today is fighter safety. And fighter safety is the key. Anytime you talk amateur boxing, you're talking about the fighter safety, and you don't want to see too many big blows and for young men and women to have to take. Our next fight, well, it's going to be 2 familiar names. They're going to be fighting one another. It's the 132-pound weight class. Ronzemian Ford is going to be taking on Kamal Abdullah. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Paul Shield.
Kamal Abdullah.
Kamal Abdullah, a young man that I had an opportunity to talk to at the weigh-in. He said he's excited about this fight. Had it with both Kamal Abdullah as well as Ronzemian Ford. Let's listen in. This is a situation that you get an opportunity to get on stage with some of the best young fighters in the country. How do you think you're going to do?
I'm sure I'm going to do great.
Now, when you see your little brother and you see you know somebody's got to go home with bragging rights. Who wins that battle most of the time?
Little brother wins most of the time.
Good enough.
But, we all better come home with bragging rights tonight.
Good enough. Thanks a lot, Kamal Abdullah, everyone. Give him a round of applause. Ronzemian Ford, you and I have been in this situation before. Last time we saw you, it wasn't what you wanted. It wasn't a victory, but it was a learning experience. Let's talk about that. What did you learn at Chanel High School?
It was just off night, It happens. So I'm just ready for tomorrow.
You've been in that situation where you have actually won this situation, where you've been one of the king of the rings. You had to fight a fight in which you had to fight overweight. Now you're back at your regular weight. How important is that for you?
I feel good. It's important a lot. So I can fight somebody in my weight class and do what I got to do.
Good enough. You got any questions for him, Wilkins?
What actually have you done to prepare yourself for this bout coming up now?
Just work very hard and just stay on it every day. 2-a-days, a lot of running. I'm ready for whatever.
All right, we're getting ready for our next bout, and it's Ron Simeon Ford out of Akron, Ohio. Alliance, Ohio, by the way, from the Common Ground Boxing Club, taking on Kamal Abdullah from the DNA Level C Boxing Club. Here's Paul Shield with the official announcements.
Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, representing the DNA Level C Boxing Club from Cleveland, Ohio, Kamal Abdullah. And his opponent fights out of the blue corner, representing the Common Ground Boxing Club from Alliance, Ohio. He is Razimian Ford.
And the referee for the competition will be the one and only Earl Jewell, one of the best amateurs ever to come out of Cleveland. Got a chance to see Earl not too long ago as an inspector on the Pro Rack when Showtime was here just a week ago. So it is nice to see. You know, earlier we were talking about some boxing dignitaries who have passed on, and most recently at the age of 89, Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, fight doctor, who worked the corner of Muhammad Ali, and worked with Angelo Dundee for many years, and was a great announcer on Showtime with Bobby Ches back in the 80s and 90s. Once again, we send our love, our prayers to the family of Dr. Ferdy Pacheco. Round number one between Ron Simeon Ford, and of course he's taking on Kamal Abdullah of the DNA Level C Boxing Club right here in Cleveland, Ohio, from the Common Grounds Boxing Club and Alliance, Ohio's Ron Simeon Ford. And tell us why the name Ford, Ron Simeon Ford, might ring a bell, because I think his uncle was Mr. Desi Ford.
Yeah, Desi Ford been in the game a long time, man. I remember me as a kid when I first started boxing. Desi was already an open fighter, you know, so definitely a big name out there in boxing.
See any similarities in the two? Ron Simeon Ford and Desi. Ron Simeon in the gray trunks, gray top that is, taking on the young man in the green and black, and that of course is Kamal Abdullah.
Let's get a little Desi in there.
What are the similarities that you can recall just from your glances at Desi as an amateur?
Well, Desi had a nice jab too to start his combinations off. You see the nephew, I believe it is. Nephew? Yeah, nephew. Yeah, he's got a nice jab as well. You can tell Desi been working. I mean, the jab kicks off everything, man. Off the jab, you work your different combos, your different angles. So he's looking sharp in there with that jab to the head and to the body. He's mixing it up. Nice straight right hand to the body. He just got caught with a jab there himself.
Right, Simeon Ford, 24 years of age. He's had 50+ fights. He, of course, is not only just a talented fighter, but a fighter who gets a lot done, and he gets a lot done at a great time.
Good matchup, I might tell you. Nice uppercut in there.
Tremendous uppercut, round number one between these two fighters trying to get it done right here on TV 20 in Cleveland, Ohio. And the thing about amateur boxing here in Cleveland, Ohio, is we take a look at some of the action here in round number one. Desi Ford is a stand-up fighter. And as a stand-up fighter here in round number one, you can see against Abdullah, he's able and trying to find a home for that straight right hand. A right hand that he is saying to himself, look, I know that we're similar, but I'm going to outclass you, and I've got to start with the jab. And that's what we get here, that jab, putting that jab out there, making sure that he gets plenty of time to understand exactly what he's doing at the right time. TV 20 right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Ronnie Duncan along with the one and only Wilkins Santiago out of the great Westlake area, and of course a fine amateur back in the day. We're coming to you live from Cleveland, Ohio at the Masonic Temple, and we've got some of the best young amateur fighters, and we are bringing it to you live round number two between Kamal Abdullah and Ron Simeon Ford. Yes, I've taken the trip from Washington, D.C. to Cleveland, Ohio once again to be with you guys at ringside. Round number two between the two. Ron Simeon Ford is almost like he's looking in the mirror when he's taking on Abdullah. They both are stand-up fighters. They both want to get off with the jab, but Ron Simeon wants to turn up the heat. As you can see, he wants to get a little bit more movement and get that jab, and he still hasn't found that right hand.
They're both long, too, man. You can tell Abdullah's a little longer, but great boxing on both sides. These guys' ring IQ, their ring IQ's up there.
Well, you can tell. And the thing about it is that they want to start everything off with the jab. Ron Simeon Ford looking for that jab, the jab to the head, the jab to the body on Kamal Abdullah. Round number 2 of this scheduled 3-round competition between these two young men in the 132-pound weight class. Nice strong right hand that time by Ron Simeon Ford.
Nice defense.
Ford with a nice uppercut followed by a right hand.
Slip that jab. Good shot.
And there he is again. So it's the volume of punches that has impressed the judges. Will it impress the referee? Will it impress the crowd? Ron Simeon Ford still reaching. He's got to be careful sometimes, reaching for that right hand. Sometimes you can overcommit like you saw him do just there.
And he's still the aggressor in the fight. Abdullah's starting to push back a lot. Not sure if those are signs of fatigue or he's trying to come up with a different strategy. But Ron Simeon Ford, he's looking good out there.
When you have two tall fighters, two guys who fight tall, balance is the key, especially when both are throwing the jab. And that's why they have to be very, very good in understanding their balance, and they do not overcommit, because at times you can look sloppy in the ring.
Definitely. You got to know where to place your shots at.
Referee Earl Jewell wants to have an adjustment made on the trunks.
Shirt coming out.
And, of course, the jersey of Abdullah. As a matter of fact, Abdullah, he put the pants up, he brought the pants right back down.
And you can tell there's still some of that shirt in the back. Nice right hand by Ford.
Yeah, Ford came out.
He didn't waste no time.
He didn't waste any time whatsoever. Ford is being the aggressor, but does that mean he won the second round? We'll find out. It is boxing action coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio. I want to say happy birthday to a young lady who happened to, we don't talk about the ages of people. I can't do that. But Audrey Stevens, went to college with her at Morgan State University. She happened to call during the broadcast, and I want to say to Audrey, God bless you. Such a fighter, such a beautiful, beautiful presence, and a great personality. And,
happy birthday, Miss Audrey.
That's right. Happy birthday, Miss Audrey. That's right, from Cleveland, Ohio, all the way to the north side of Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah, Philly. You know, tough fighters come out of Philly.
Bad fighters out there.
I don't know if Audrey's all that tough. I don't know. But she went to Morgan State University, so she's got to be tough.
Definitely.
Boxing action, third and final round. Earl Jewell, of course, is the referee, and we'll find out how things are going to fare here in the ring. It is Ron Simeon Ford taking on Kamal Abdullah. Round number 3. Ron Simeon Ford in the gray top, black trunks, and the green top trimmed in black, and the black trunks trimmed in green is the young man from Cleveland, Ohio, Kamal Abdullah. Alliance, Ohio, and Cleveland, Ohio.
These guys definitely know how important that jab is. They're both utilizing that jab a lot behind their combinations.
It's a fun time and a good time. Boxing action. Amateur boxing, King of the Ring boxing series. It is the King of the Ring. Best in Boxing series, volume number 8. Can you believe this is the 8th time we've been doing this? And they call this one the War. Oh, look at that jab that time coming from Kamal Abdullah. 2 straight jabs that snapped the head back of Ron Simeon Ford. He threw out that uppercut. They're both long.
Yeah, I know.
Ron Simeon does appear to have the stronger body, though.
Definitely. You can tell by the shots he throws. Starting to miss that right hand a lot now. He was catching in the first 2 rounds. He was catching. I think Abdullah's starting to realize he's got to take a step backwards or slip that right hand.
I'll tell you a fight I'm looking forward to seeing, of course, tonight is a young man that, man, when you talk about fighting, woo, boy.
Which one we're talking about here?
Nevzadi. Elhan Nevzadi.
Oh, he's so nice, man.
Nothing but pure action and pure fighting. Had a little slip in the action. Referee Earl Jewell. Fighter gloves did touch the ring. He wipes them off. As, of course, making sure that none of the debris from the canvas gets into the eyes of the fighter.
These two are matched just for each other, man.
They are.
Definitely a good fight.
Less than 10 seconds left to go in this round.
Good bout there. Good bout.
Good bout. And once again, pretty evenly matched bout. It's going to be hard to determine who wins this competition, Kamal Abdullah or Ron Simeon Ford. There's some of the action here from the third and final round. And we're going to see that jab. See, both fighters getting underneath, both fighters doing a lot of missing, and the reason I think we saw that, they're so similar. Look at that approach. Two jabs. Two jabs in a row. Ron Zemian being very aggressive.
Yep. Putting the head down, catching the body.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things are. Great trainer, Mr. Lorenzo.
Definitely.
In the corner. Great trainers there.
I fought one of Lorenzo's boys.
Oh, yeah, who'd you fight for, Lorenzo?
Ace Myers, Nick's brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the outcome of that fight?
Hurricane style. Hurricane style.
Yes, we're having a great time here in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not by myself. Got my mother-in-law at the fights.
Mother-in-law here?
That's right, Miss Alabama Crenshaw.
She's on you.
That's right. Along with my cousin Cedric Crenshaw. All here to watch some of this action. I tell you what, we started off the night, not as many people, but the crowd is picking up. It's going to be a pretty decent crowd for these young men and women watching amateur boxing here in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, we'll go up to our ring announcer, Paul Schill, once he gets, of course, the scores from our judges at ringside to determine who is the winner of this competition. And, of course, it's always a great time. Let's go up to Paul Schill to find out who won this fight, Paul. Tell me.
Here we are, boxing fans. First and foremost, this bout is sponsored by Basque Entertainment Complex, located in Garfield Heights. We thank you so much for your sponsorship of King of the Ring Boxing. And now, boxing fans, after 3 action-packed rounds of boxing, your winner, he fights out of the blue corner, Razimian Ford.
Razimian Ford fighting out the blue corner, getting it done. When we come back, we'll get ready for one of our featured bouts of the evening. And we're also here from a professional from back in the day who knows how to get it done. Willie Nelson will join us, and he'll talk about what it's like to be an amateur and how it prepares them to be a pro. He'll be talking with Alexis Haywood. Those will be the first voices you will hear when we come back.
Mayor Frank Jackson and the City of Cleveland are committed to keeping your neighborhood clean and green through the use of the city-issued trash and recycling carts. It's safe, convenient, and mandatory. For more information, contact the Cleveland Division of Waste Collection at 216-664-3717.
I'm here with Willie Nelson, one of the greatest professional fighters out of Cleveland. Willie, how important is a card like this for our amateur fighters?
A card like this is real important. I wish I had something like this coming up when I was younger. Fortunately, I didn't, but you know, it's it introduced me to the pro scene. So this is a great card. Every step we take in the pros, they took for this card. So this is a big thing for the amateurs here at home, here in Cleveland.
So do you think we have our next greatest fighter out of Cleveland?
For sure, we have a lot of great fighters out of Cleveland. Cleveland is like the hotbed for boxing, and like people sleeping on Cleveland, but it's one of the hotbeds for boxing.
Thank you so much, Willie. Back to the fight.
Our next bout, please welcome Kuwardik Manu.
Well, welcome back once again. It is the King of the Ring Boxing Championships from the Masonic Temple live on TV 20. And, of course, we're getting ready for our first bout. And I'm talking about the Junior King of the Ring Championships. Is Kuwardik Manu. And he's going to be taking on Tyshawn Denison, 106 pounds, and we're talking Akron, Ohio.
Akron.
That's right, Akron, Ohio. LeBron James.
Tyshawn Denison.
And he's going to be taking on from the King of the Ring Boxing Club out of Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Kuwardik Manu. Last time we saw Kuwardik Manu, he was a young man who had a lot of spirit. He was a young man who forged ahead, but he just couldn't pull out the victory. It was outdoors. It was July the 1st, 2017. We had an opportunity to see this young man and how talented he was. How good will he be against Tyshawn Denison? Welcome once again to King of the Ring Boxing. Ronnie Duncan along with the one and only Wilkins Santiago. You know, Wilkins, when you and I were talking about boxing earlier, you said you became engaged in boxing by watching boxing with your father, who is not a fighter, if I can recall, but boxing was such a huge sport in the island of Puerto Rico. Let's talk about that a little bit later when, of course, the one and only Paul Shield gives up that introduction of the two fighters. But that was your introduction to the sport, was it not?
Oh, definitely. My father, man. May he rest in peace now, but, you know, the man, boxing was one of the best things he ever brought into my life.
Good enough. We'll go up to Paul Shield and we'll talk more about your dad and your introduction to boxing. But here's Paul.
Okay, boxing fans, here we go. Our next bout of the evening is in the 106-pound, 3 rounds of boxing, 1.5 minutes per round. This is for the Junior King of the Ring Championship. And now, introducing first, the red corner, representing the King of the Ring Boxing Club from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Please welcome Manu. And his opponent fights out of the blue corner. He represents the Akron Boxing Club from Akron, Ohio, Tyshawn Denison.
Well, there you have Tyshawn Denison, Kawadeep Manu. 2 young men coming into this fight. Somebody's got to walk out a winner. Somebody's got to walk out a loser. Who will it be? I can tell you this much. When you talk about the young man from Brampton, Ontario, in the King of the Ring boxing gym, that tells me that Kawadeep Manu, that is pretty darn good. And he tries, of course, to catch Denison with an uppercut. You can tell he's been working on his boxing ability.
You notice anytime you got a southpaw and a right-hander, there's always going to be clashing.
Yep, and that's exactly what's been happening here.
So Manu's trying to catch him over the top, trying to knock that jab down, catch him with the right hand. He's got to be careful, though. His hands are real low. Nice body shot.
Well, think about it, you can tell he's had a lot of improvement from the last time in which we saw him.
Yeah. He's a little more calm, too.
And he knows how to counter, too. I didn't see that type of educational counter with him the last time.
You can tell he's more comfortable in there, too. Oh, he's got caught with a couple hooks there.
But there he comes right back with 2 jabs in the right hand.
Good first round.
Very good first round, but you can tell it's become a student of the game.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple things I saw there that I didn't see this summer. And here's a young man who appeared to be somewhat overmatched in the fight that we had this summer. But yet this time he's learning to use his size. Now, maybe he doesn't have the effectiveness of taking on a southpaw and basically what I need to do, because many times the legs got tangled. But when he was able to land, he was able to be effective, and it was pretty classy.
You can tell from the last time we see him, he went to the drawing board, fixed up what he needed to fix up, and showing today.
Sounds great.
It's tough to do that with a southpaw, too, so you could tell he's made adjustments.
Yeah, pretty soon we're going to be bringing in one of the sponsors of King of the Ring, a guy who has been just brilliant and working and doing what we need to have done here in Cleveland, Ohio. And we'll be talking to him a little bit later. My man Skip, we're going to be talking to him and making sure we talk about, of course, what he's been doing and why he's been getting involved in the King of the Ring.
Nice body shot.
Got to keep the action furious and right for Tyshawn Denison out of Akron, Ohio.
Denison coming out looking good this round.
He is. And when you talk about the more educated looking fighter in the ring, it's him.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we are more familiar with Manu.
You can tell he's more comfortable in there. He's
However,
more composed.
We have to give credit where credit is due.
Nice right hand.
Tyshawn has been looking great. Great bounce, great movement, knowing how to get away from a punch. Head isn't always in the same spot at all times. Guard is high, guard is tight. Look at that. Knows how to throw that right hand down.
Nice left hand. Manu's not backing down, though. He's definitely coming in, trying to put some pressure up.
Well, the one thing we do know about Manu from the first time, even though he's out of match, Manu was fighting hard.
Yeah. You can hear his corner telling him to put the pressure on him.
I don't think anyone would see Manu in street clothes and consider him to be a fighter. I mean, he looks like a very quiet. Nice right hand that time.
You can see he caught him going back.
Nice right hand that time, straight down the middle by Manu.
Two good right hands.
And he's got, of course, Denison backing up. Pretty even match fight. I can't pick a winner right now. Because both fighters have been doing extremely good.
Good matchmaking.
And Manu has improved dramatically. From the last time we saw him, you have to be impressed.
You can see a big turnaround on him.
I tell you one thing, he has a mouthpiece that fits. Remember how big his mouthpiece was the last time? Look at that straight right hand right down the middle by Manu, followed by another right hand, and a left, and a right. Good action by Manu here in round number 2.
Good fight by both hands.
Kawadeep Manu in the red. But then, of course, you see my man Tayshawn say, look, buddy, I'm not trying to lose this round. I'm trying to win it.
It ain't that sweet up in here.
Okay, here we are. Round number 3.
Oh, nice left hand, 2 of them. The shot's coming, man.
Yeah, this is where Manu's getting a little sloppy.
Yeah, got to be careful, too. Nice right hand by Manu. But the shot's not letting him breathe, man. He's keeping the pressure on him.
Did you see the little bolo punch that time by Manu?
Oh,
wow.
Nice exchange by both sides. Nice left hand inside.
Little head movement caused Denison some problems.
He finally landed that uppercut, huh?
Yeah, he did. And that uppercut caused some problems that time. Tayshawn didn't see it, but it saw him. There it is again.
Tayshawn's working a good body, good straight left to the body.
Manu with a body shot, and it was a nice uppercut. And everyone here at the Masonic Temple saw it, and almost like they felt it. Ran into a right hand that time by Denison.
Oh, nice left hand to close him out. Good fight. What do you think, man?
This is tough.
Oh, good matchmaking.
This is tough.
Huh?
This is tough. And we're seeing some competitive fights.
Who put this together? Doug?
No, Aaron Marlin. Push Davis.
Okay. Oh, Push Davis put these together? Okay.
That's right. Push Davis is the matchmaker for this.
We'll have to hire Push.
Look at that uppercut. You just
huh?
talked about that uppercut, and we just saw Manu put it on Denison. But once again, here's Denison coming back, reaching. And look at Manu with the defense, trying to keep him off with that straight right hand.
Good fight. Good fight. One of the best amateur cards I've seen in a long time.
Very competitive amateur cards.
Definitely.
And when you consider the action here in our opening bout, not bad at all.
Right.
So who's the winner? Is it going to be the mild-mannered young man from Brampton, Ontario, Canada, Kawadeep Manu? Is it going to be Tayshawn Denison of the Akron Boxing Academy in Akron, Ohio? Somebody has to walk away with the victory. Unfortunately, someone goes home the loser. But in amateur boxing, you don't lose. It's just a learning lesson.
Learning experience. Take everything with you to the next level.
Under the big lights of the Masonic Temple, when you consider this venue and how many great fighters have fought here, over the years, you have to be impressed. Sonic Temple, and of course, waiting for our scores to be tabulated. And our judges to have a little something to say about the goodness of all the great things that are going on. Let's go to Paul Shield.
Boxing fans, first and foremost, this bout was sponsored by the University Hotels. We thank Rob and all the gang over at University Hotels for their continued sponsorship of King of the Ring Boxing. Thank you so much. And now, your winner and a junior King of the Ring champion, fights out of the blue corner, Tyshawn Denison.
I can definitely live with that one. And now it's time to get ready, because just in a few minutes, it's going to be the Grudge Match Championship. Asia Smith taking on Kashana Wynn. It's all going to happen next as well. Coming up on TV 20, the Recreation Battle Championship. What about Kemp Tarver and Marcel Bonner? A good one. Don't leave your TV sets. This is going to be a good one.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
All right, fight fans, we're back with TV 20. It is the King of the Ring boxing series. It is the war by the shore, by the way, like Lake Erie. And of course, we've got a match. That's a Grudge Match Championship. It is Asia Smith out of the Raul Torres Boxing Club here in Cleveland, Ohio, against Kashana Wynn against the Rope Boxing Club in Cleveland, Ohio. Had an opportunity to speak to both of these young ladies, saw them at the weigh-in, and they are ready. As a matter of fact, they fought not too long ago, and Kashana Wynn was the winner, and she expects to duplicate it once again. Had an opportunity to talk to her at the weigh-in, and she was not afraid, Kashana Wynn. She loves boxing. She says she doesn't see herself staying in the amateur game as long, but you never know exactly what can happen when it comes to boxing. So we'll find out when it comes that time for her, but Kashana Wynn, very talented young fighter, and we look forward to seeing what she can do in the ring. As you can see, she's 23 years old. She's only had 5 fights, but one of those fights was against Asia Smith, 26, and Asia has had 24 fights. Kashana won that fight. That should tell you something.
Oh yeah, good win under her belt. You know, I was able to exchange a few words with her as well. You can tell she's no joke. She wants to come in here and do the same thing she did the first time. She said she feels good coming in here.
You might look at Kashana and say, wait a minute, where's the power coming from? But if you look at how thick her legs are, see, looking at Asia right now, she's complete. I mean, she looks about the size that she is. She's fast, she's quick, she can get in and out. But Kashana, when you look at Kashana over there in that blue corner, wearing the all black, you will see a young lady who has some of the thickest legs. Now, when you look at her, her upper body is very small. It's a lower body that's very strong, and that's where we're going to see most of her power. Let's go up to Paul Shield to give her official introductions to the fighters.
Alrighty, boxing fans, here we go. Our next bout of the evening is in the 126-pound division. 3 2-minute rounds, because this is the Grudge Match Championship. And now, introducing first, the red corner, representing the Raul Torres Boxing Club. Please welcome Asia Smith. And her opponent fights out of the blue corner and represents the Against the Ropes Boxing Club from Cleveland, Ohio, Kashana Wynn.
All right, there we have it, folks. We're talking about boxing at its best. These two young ladies getting ready to get it done in the ring. And I'm talking about King of the Ring boxing, but these are going to be the queens of the ring, and we're talking about the Grudge Match. Asia Smith taking on Kashana Wynn. Asia Smith in the red comes out, delivering the jab, but Kashana sitting back patiently. And see, those powers are going to be, that power for Wynn is going to come from her legs.
Yeah, so she looks comfortable in there. Oh.
See, Asia is a more seasoned fighter.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
And you can tell. She knows how to jab from the outside. She's a smaller fighter. She wants to go ahead and connect with the jab, follow her with the right hand. But Kashana is well coached. Against the rope boxing gym, Cleveland, Ohio, they are familiar with one another. They just fought not long ago, and here they are in their classic battle.
Nice check left hook and right hand by Asia.
But every time Kashana hits Asia, she sends a message.
Oh, she moves her. Yeah, she moves her. You can tell she's the strongest one out the fighters. She's real calm in there.
For an amateur fighter, you don't normally see that.
No, you don't. She's real calm.
And she's learned the art of counterpunching. Nice left hook.
Left hook. Good jab.
See, that's where Kashana is going to have to learn how to fight in close quarters like that, where Asia takes advantage of her small size and she's able to get off a few punches.
Asia got to get inside. You don't want to box her.
Asia wants to get inside, but she's felt that power too.
Yeah.
See how wide some of Kashana punches are?
Yeah, definitely. Asia's got to move her head a little more. That way she don't get caught with some of those shots.
Bell for round number one. Pretty even round for both young ladies. Asia did some things that were pretty impressive on her side, but the other thing we can say is that Kashana also did some things that were pretty impressive. She's very calm under fire.
Definitely.
If you notice, she never lets someone else dictate the pace. She decides to say, I'm fighting at this pace and this pace only. But she knows how to counter.
Yeah, definitely.
Needs to tighten up on her defense a little against a better fighter. Maybe she gets caught with those shots, but Asia is a good fighter. And the thing about it is that Asia's been at this game longer. But you could never tell that when you look at Kashana Wynn, we're only talking about 5 fights, and she's a right-hander.
Yeah, definitely. You could tell she picked up the game real quick.
No, she's a quiet young lady, but she gets it.
She means business. In that ring, she means business. You can tell by the look in her eyes.
Now, Asia is being told, keep that right hand up to your chin. Don't
Coach
get
Flex,
hit with the left hook.
Coach Flex.
It is again. That right hand, but did you see that left hook? There it is again, left hook.
She's calm.
Same pace, see? She's not letting her understand that pace. Nice feints, too, by Kashana Wynn. Kashana Wynn loves that left hand. If she could ever find some leverage on that right hand, she'd be pretty devastating.
It's all bad. Man, I'm impressed on how calm Wynn is. Even seeing that Asia's putting pressure on her, she's still calm.
Watch how she fights out of the pressure. She definitely is in love with her left hook. You can tell that's been a punch that she's been working on. Asia's corner is telling her to relax and to take her time. She's getting in, but you have to get in with the right type. Ferocious.
You got to be careful coming down with that jab to the body and get caught with an uppercut.
She's having a much better second round.
Definitely. Wynn just missed the left hook that, woof.
Yeah, it probably would have sent somebody home early sleeping.
Yep.
Got to be careful coming in. Within time, Wynn is going to become an accurate puncher. I mean, to be this good this early in her career, win or lose this fight. Asia's got a lot of support out there. Bound for the end of round number 1. The bow or the bell? The bell for the end of round number 1. I can't be that tired, am I? I don't think so. It is King of the Ring boxing. You're looking at a grudge match between Kashana Wynn and Asia Smith. Asia Smith in the red and white, Kashana in the black and red. And look at that little short jab that way.
Jab, huh? Asia caught it with a good jab there.
Yeah, I think Asia won the second round.
Oh, I did too. Might have had her slightly winning the first round too.
Might have slightly had her winning that first round. Very intimate shot of what's going on in between the corner and how she's listening intently to both of her coaches. Look at her. Eyes are not blinking. When one speaks, she looks the other. I like this. And she's very calm. Very, very calm.
Corner's
this could
important, man. Everybody's got to be on the same page in that corner.
Well, this could be, you know, this is the grudge match. This is the rubber match.
Right.
You know, so to speak, because she lost the first time she fought this young lady.
Right.
Now she has an opportunity here to come out in the third round
that means
and make an impression.
Grudge match.
Isn't it amazing that Shauna recognizes the distance?
Yeah.
And the thing that she hasn't done, she won't fight to Asia's size. Asia switches up there. Gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful with that southpaw. Especially with a heavy hitter like Wynn.
Oh, there it is. Nice heavy shot. Did you see that one, man?
Yeah.
Both women are missing. This is when I would like to see Wynn be a little bit more active. Take command of things.
You got to. The first 2 rounds were too tight to hold anything back. This third and final round, you gotta show something.
Asia may win this fight on just being the aggressive individual.
Definitely. I think we're going to see a 3, Ron. You tell Wynn's doing the stalking, but she's not actually doing anything behind it.
Yeah. But that's what I was speaking of earlier in the round, where I would like to see Kashana Wynn be more aggressive.
Right.
To seriously take the lead and don't look to be the counterpuncher all the time. And to be totally committed to taking the lead.
Oh, nice check hook.
Nice right hand.
Oh.
And another check hook that time. I'll tell you what, she's going to be a complete fighter in time. Maybe not today. Maybe she gets the loss, her first loss to Asia Smith, but then Asia Smith could possibly get the win. Very good fight by both fighters.
Undefeated fighter?
I'm not sure, but I can tell you this much. She beat a seasoned fighter in Asia Smith, and that says a lot to me.
Yeah.
You can see Asia went back. There's that right hand. And there's that left right at the end of the fight. And the thing about it is that may not have been enough to win the fight.
A little too late.
And has she displayed some of that aggressive behavior earlier, I think we're talking about a different outcome.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, the judges have a tough job in this one to determine who is the winner. And every time you and I talk, I normally ask you who's going to win a fight and why. And if my recollections are correct, I'm like undefeated against you in all the big fights.
Yeah, that's a good.
Because you just always.
I gotta check, make sure you ain't got no vodka in that.
You know,
that
you
water.
just always pick the loser. So.
Who you got on this one then? Go ahead. Who you got on this one?
You said I set myself up for that one.
Who you got on this one?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Asia.
Oh yeah, we on the same page then.
All right.
Yeah, I think Asia.
But I was talking about some of the big fights, like you and I would talk about stuff, and Sean Porter and this guy, or big fight coming up around the same time that we'll probably be on the air. So I know what you're going to do. I already know, because I'm going to go ahead and give you the fight. It's Miguel Cotto against Adam Ali. And it's Miguel Cotto's final fight
Against Saddam Ali?
Yeah. So who wins?
I got it right with Cotto.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
is that
not
because
just
you're Puerto Rican?
No, not just that. Cotto's been in there with way better opposition. You know that. Cotto's been in there with all animals, man.
All right, we'll find out in just a second. Let's go to our ring announcer, Paul Schill. Paul?
Okay, boxing fans, first and foremost, this bout was sponsored by Owens Group. We thank you so much for your support of King of the Ring Boxing. Thank you very much. Alrighty, boxing fans. After 3 action-packed rounds, your winner. And now, the grudge match champion in Cleveland, ladies and gentlemen, fights out of the red corner, Asia Smith.
And it was all about the activity. Asia Smith gets her revenge. They call it a grudge match for a reason. Another young person that got some revenge, and it wasn't too long ago, like a week ago, here in this very same building on Showtime with Yanel Evans. You know about this kid, don't you?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I've been in a couple camps with him. Superb southpaw fighter, man.
Well, Alexis Haywood had an opportunity to talk to him not long ago. They talked about the belts, and he's got a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
And they talked about his amateur pedigree and how important Cleveland amateur boxing has been in his life. Let's hear from Alexis Haywood.
I'm here with Yanel Evans, championship fighter. Would you like to explain to us what these belts mean?
Well, these belts mean a lot. It's an NABA, WBA belt here, this black one. The recent one I just won is the WBC Continental America belt. And this is the belt I won when I was about 21 years old, the WBC youth belt. All of these belts get you ranked inside of the sanctions, inside of the WBC and the WBA sanction, top 5 and top 10s. Like I said, these mean a lot to me. These are accomplishments. And just like what these guys are out here fighting for today, this means the same thing, trophy, same thing to me.
Thanks so much. So you started out amateur fighting yourself.
Correct.
Would you have any advice for the up-and-coming youth and how to stay focused and how do they become on your level?
To become on my level?
Yes.
I'm on a whole nother level. But we all got our own levels. Just keep grinding and stay focused. You know, don't let nobody break down the bridge that you are building. You know, keep going for your dream. You know, I'm a dream chaser. So even today, I still have dreams. I still have goals. So just keep grinding. I mean, if this is what you really want to do, then keep doing it. If you're good at it, keep doing it.
And with all these wins, what is next for you?
Well, on contract, I have one more fight for this year, being my 3rd bout before February ends. Hopefully, I'm back here in the same Masonic Temple. Hopefully, I'm still here or at a bigger venue, the Quickie Loans. I mean, somewhere bigger, you know. I really want to get things going on HBO. You know, I enjoyed the show box and stuff like that. But
speaking of HBO, you just fought on Showtime.
Right.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. It was my first showbox card I ever did. Normally I was on ESPN or HBO, but I was on undercards. So it was major, and then with me being, you know, the main event and fighting on the card with also my Cleveland fellow brothers, like, it was amazing. It was an amazing show, you know. I was in love with it. I'm in love with the fight still.
I'm so proud of you and looking forward to what you do in the future. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Back to you.
Well, thanks a lot, Alexis. We appreciate that. And, of course, when you talk about fine young amateurs, they had them all in the ring not too long ago here, and it was really nice to see. You know, Prentice Brewer, you had Willie Nelson, you had the Rodriguez brothers, you had, of course, Steen,
Charles
Conwell. It was a great time seeing all of them and what they can do, and it's great to see when family comes home, and these are family fighters.
Definitely.
All right. I can tell you right. Our judges are sitting by and ready. Some of them look like they need a little bit of sleep. Ed King is going to be the referee of our next bout.
Traver.
And Kent Traver, all right, is going to be coming. He's from the Talmadge Recreation Center, Rodriguez Boxing Club in Akron, Ohio. He's going to be taking on Marcel Bonner of the Glenville Recreation Center, Bob Davis Boxing Club in Cleveland, Ohio. Bonner happens to be one of my favorite fighters. I'm talking about as far as young fighters and what he can do, and sharp, and just seems to be really on top of his game. And when we talk about Traver, well, we're going to find out how good things are for Traver, because Traver is coming to us from just outside of Akron, Ohio, and he's at the Talmadge Recreation Center. And Talmadge Recreation Center has always been known to have some very talented fighters. And when we talk about the young man from Marcel Bonner, you're going to see him. He's in the white top with the red trunks trimmed in gray. What is interesting about Marcel Bonner is that he just fought Sean Davis, the #1 ranked 132-pounder in the country, and went the entire distance. Everyone else at the national tournament was either knocked out or had been knocked down. This happened in Tennessee not too long ago. Marcel Bonner did outstanding. And for Marcel Bonner, and there he is right there, to do well, it is impressive. Now, Marcel Bonner is fighting at 141 pounds for his competition this evening. But seeing Marcel is what you're seeing, is that you're seeing a young man who is getting better size.
Bigger.
You're finally seeing that man strength. And he's over 20 years of age. As a matter of fact, Marcel Bonner is like 22 years old.
Yeah.
And you wonder how much longer is he going to stay in the amateur game before he decides to turn pro. 21 years old. He's had 10+ fights. He's a right-hander and very talented fighter. Had an opportunity to meet with his mom and dad and his sister. Sister's a great little artist.
Right.
And it was fun. Let's go ahead. Paul Schill is standing by with much more.
Okay, boxing fans, here we go. Our very next bout of the evening is for the Recreation Battle Championship. In the 141-pound division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He represents the Talmadge Rec Rodriguez Boxing Club from Akron, Ohio, Camp Traver. And his opponent fights out of the blue corner. He represents the Glenville Rec Bob Davis Boxing Club. Please welcome Marcel Bonner.
So there you have it, Camp Traver against Marcel Bonner. Ring announcer, of course, was Paul Schill. Referee for this one is going to be Ed King out of King Gymnasium out there in Bedford Heights, Ohio. Ed, of course, who managed and architected the career of the great Vonda Ward. Came, of course, the IBA women's heavyweight champion. Fought for that heavyweight championship and defended it numerous times right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Last time that we had a major fight at the Q, of course, that was Vonda Ward. Vonda was on course to fight Layla Ali. It never happened. Ended up fighting Ann Wolf. Was hoping that she could go ahead and get past Ann Wolf and move on to Layla, but unfortunately, it never happened. They talked about it. They wanted to have it at the Q. They wanted to have it in Las Vegas. Vonda Ward, talented fighter, now the mother. And, of course, you can always find Vonda at King's Gym, where she's still training people and getting them in shape. Former great basketball player at the University of Tennessee and played under the great Pat Summitt. All right, let's get back to the boxing action in the ring right now. You've got Marcel Bonner in the scarlet and gray trunks of Ohio State, taking on the young man with the gray trunks and the black trim and the blue top, Mr. Traver. Kemp Traver out of Akron, Ohio. Nice right hand that time by Bonner.
Check with the left uppercut.
And Bonner, once again, has really started to really understand how good he is and how good he can be, especially when you talk about his jab. And see, he knows how to move. And talking to his father, he says, you know what, I just would like to see my son be a little bit more active with his hands, not to be so lazy, not to sit back. And the thing about it is that when you've got the skill that Bonner has, man, you can go so far.
Yeah, you gotta let the hands flow.
Look at that counter that time. Catching counter, nice right down by Bonner. Bonner looking down low. He didn't give it away. He was like a poker player. When he went to that body shot, he was looking upstairs and went straight downstairs and was able to score. And you know, scoring body shots are just as effective as scoring shots to the head for a professional. Traver just got to Bonner with the right hand. Bonner has come back.
Oh, nice,
you can tell
the top.
Nice. It is again. Nice. Oh my goodness, what a combination that time by Bonner.
It's fast and crispy.
This is one of Bonner's best looking looks in the ring on King of the Ring. And what a right hand that time. And he caught Bonner right on the chin. Bonner's backing up. And there's a reason why. He wants to check the land. And then he wants to defend it. Marcel Bonner in the scarlet and gray trunks of Ohio State with the white top. If Daddy wanted to see Marcel Bonner be more aggressive, I think Marcel Bonner got the call from Dad, and he is more aggressive in what he's doing.
Looking good.
Great boxing action here on King of the Ring Boxing. Let's take a look at some of the action, of course, that we got going on here, and it's a good time. And obviously, first round action, look at that. Right hand, left, left, right. What a combination that time by Marcel Bonner. Bonner came in here meaning business. Like I said, I got a chance to spend some time with him.
Nice right hand, too.
And doing so, it was quite obvious how good he is and how good he's going to be.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. If they can turn the tide, Marcel Bonner looked like he was the man. He did not look like the victim in round number one, but Kemp Tarver. Now here's a young man who has to listen to what the corner has, and let's see if he can make a change. Let's see if he can adapt to a different style that may take away that aggressive aspect that Bonner has had. Marcel Bonner can fight at 132, can fight at 141. He's going to have to make a decision pretty soon, is he not?
Yep. Look sharp at 41, I'll tell you that.
Catching those jabs. Oh, that time, Tarver came back.
See Bonner smiling. Usually when a fighter is smiling, that means he felt that.
And that's Traver, not Tarver. My correction, but Bonner hit him again with the right hand. Bonner has to make sure he doesn't overcommit. Because all it takes is for one good counter, and both of these young men are firing shots.
Oh, nice over the top cross. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
Holding on right now. It's Traver. Kemp Traver in the blue. Marcel Bonner came out with a wicked combination and has scored a lot of points. Nice body work that time by Marcel Bonner. It's amazing the confidence that Bonner has right now, having competed at the Nationals, having faced the #1 fighter in the country. And you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why he was eager to fight last week as well as this week. And you can tell that he's starting to mature more as a fighter.
Yeah, you can see it.
He may have lost at the Nationals. He may have lost in the first round, but that experience was so valuable for him.
Yep. Ooh, nice
that right hand right there almost put Traver down. Oh, nice body shot. Bonner is putting the combinations together. This looks like a man against a boy. Somebody's getting a boxing lesson. I'm telling you right now, Marcel Bonner is giving the lesson, and Kemp is taking it. Look at that beauty uppercut, body shot. But you got to give Traver his due. He still fights back.
Got to be careful. Bonner, what Bonner has to do, he's got to take a little step back and start using his angles. Work off the body, come upstairs.
Ed King doing an excellent job as a referee for this competition. Telling both fighters they've got to punch. Doesn't want to break them. And I think that's good because that gives you an opportunity to learn what to do in close quarters when you're clinched up and you're not up against the ropes. Bonner showing a little difference, and guess what? Able to get out of the way of every shot that Kemp threw.
He looked good in there. He looked good.
And standing in between rounds, not sitting down. That tells you something.
Definitely.
If I'm fighting you and I'm like, I know I'm out of gas, what you doing standing around? And that's exactly what Bonner is doing.
Right.
He's standing. take a look at this combination that happened there in round number 2. Watch this. One,
off the
right
jab,
hand.
the right hand. Check hook.
There's another
right hand again.
Right hand again. Another right hand. Clipped him just a little. And look at that. Did you see that shot to the heart?
Uppercut.
Yes. Wonderful. Beautiful display of boxing. The pugilistic science. It has been a long night. It's getting even longer. But it's been a great time of boxing here in Cleveland, Ohio at the Masonic Temple. It is Boxing Live for you on TV 20. I want to wish everyone out there a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know the holidays are coming along. And I just want to say it's been a wonderful, wonderful time.
Thanksgiving right around the corner.
Oh, yeah. By the time this airs, though, we'll be talking jingle bells, jingle all the way. Maybe some bell gets rung when it comes to boxing here. Marcel Bonner better watch out because this kid has come up with a lot of heat knowing this is the 3rd round. Bonner has basically had his way with combinations, and as you can see right now, Kim Traver is trying to turn up the heat. Everything he can hit, anything he can hit on Bonner, he's trying to. Look how explosive he's trying to get. Bonner just hit him with the right hand again. Traver is ducking some of those punches, but he was able to hit Marcel Bonner, but Bonner continues to come forward. One of Bonner's best looking performances that we've seen in quite some time, and you can tell that the experience he had in Tennessee has made a difference. He's fighting taller. He refuses to fight small. He's the taller man. He puts that jab out there, and he was able to stop Traver with the jab right in the middle, and of course, somebody lost the mouthpiece. Let's see who it was.
Bonner.
I think it was Bonner's mouthpiece, but Bonner is putting in the time. Referee Ed King sends Bonner to the neutral corner, and now it's time to box once again. Thank goodness for headgear, because I'm going to tell you right now, the way these guys' heads are clashing, we'd have a tremendous hit butt. Bonner is recognizing what he can do. The body work has been beautiful throughout the night. Marcel Bonner. Got to admit, my favorite fighter in Cleveland, Ohio, but that's okay. I could find a new favorite. Marcel Bonner just got hit with a left hook. But it was a slapping left hook. Didn't have much on it. One thing about Marcel Bonner is evident he can take a good shot.
Yeah.
Referee's got to change the glove. And Marcel Bonner, you can see a little bit of the tape coming out. Tell you what, that shows you how attentive Ed King is as a referee.
Yep, definitely.
He knew to stop the action. Marcel Bonner doesn't even look like he's breathing hard.
I know, he looks in good shape.
Gotta not have your head straight up. Gotta bend your knees, son. See, that's what Traver wants to do. He wants to make this a phone booth fight.
Yep.
Oh, he just hit Marcel Bonner with the right hand, and I think that hurt just a little bit. But Bonner comes back with body shots. So you go to the Nationals and you learn a few tricks. You watch some of the best fighters, and then you size yourself up and wonder whether or not. There it is. Marcel Bonner comes right back. That's the grip. That's the fighting style of Marcel Bonner that I like. You want to fight? I'll fight you. You want to box? I'll box you. Look at Marcel Bonner. Marcel Bonner won that fight hands down. You can say whatever you want. There's no way you can take it away from him. He showed he can fight from a distance. He showed he can fight up close. If you want to brawl, I'll brawl. Marcel Bonner is perhaps one of the most improved fighters in Northeast Ohio. And I'm telling you right now, in the 131-pound weight class, if he continues to get his confidence, continues to eat right, believe right, and do the right things in the gym, Marcel Bonner will be a future star in America in boxing. That body shot, and you saw it right there, and he was able to put
back right away.
Look at that. See, this This is classic.
He keeps
that is
digging
a
the body,
classic
as you
shot.
see. Watch, he'll keep digging to that
Even
body.
with the free hand. Marcel Bonner, it's the only stuff that you can see in slow motion. And that's why we have to give credit where credit is due, because the crew here at TV20 was able to pick up some of those most important shots that you may not see watching the fight in the stands. But you see, if you have a trained eye for boxing, you got to give credit where credit is due. Both of these young men did extremely well. But if you talk about graduating to another class, it's evident. Marcel Bonner has graduated to a higher class these days. He didn't look that good this summer. This summer, this is not the same kid that we saw.
Guy. Yeah. You can tell a couple of the fights already, you can tell the difference between last year and this year.
He can look at 2018 as a year in which he's improved tremendously and a year in which he will continue to get better and better each and every time.
He's ready to step it up to the next level.
I was impressed. I was happy. All I asked for was a good fight, and that's all I got. So what do you want for Christmas, Ruben Santiago? I mean, Ruben, oh my God.
Man, you
Wilkins
still got
Santiago.
Ruben stuff, huh?
Yeah,
I'm going to have to write this name down for you.
No, Wilkins Santiago. I know Ruben Santiago.
What I want for Christmas, I just want my family to, you know, praise God for the blessings of my children first and foremost. You know, my kids are my world, man. And, you know, just make sure my pop's upstairs, man, up in heaven's looking over us all, man. And, you know, just being a proud father of the son he raised.
Sounds good. We're going to talk more about your father and his influence on your life. We lost him this year. Let's go up to Paul Schill as we talk about who's the winner of this fight.
Okay, boxing fans, here we go. First and foremost, this bout was sponsored by Skufka Trophies. Always doing such a great job for all of our hardware that we hand out, the trophies, the belts. These folks have been just magicians when it comes to getting their hardware taken care of. We thank you so very much for all of your hard work. We thank you on behalf of King of the Ring. And now, boxing fans, your winner of the Recreation Battle Championship, fights out of the blue corner, Marcel Bonner.
Marcel Bonner has graduated to a new level, and he continues to impress. He may be my favorite fighter, but he's surely becoming one of Cleveland's favorite fighters. We'll come right back, and we're talking about the main event of the evening. It might be the King of the Ring, the Best in Boxing Series, number 8. This might be the war, the USA against Canada, North versus South. But we've got the Queen of the Ring Championship coming up next, and that means Morel McCain, and she's got a young lady out of Canada who says, Ahmad, Kandula, I want you, girl, is happening next on TV20, because we are Cleveland.
Car crashes, accidents. We're telling you
why be next.
So listen to us. Don't drive and text.
Keep Cleveland safe and do not text when you drive.
152-pound division, Queen of the Ring. Please welcome Amanda Kandula.
All right, now it's time for the Queen of the Ring. And here's a young lady who's come into the ring, and she is ready to fight, and she's ready to get it going tonight because she knows Amanda Kandula is going to be fighting a young lady that she has heard a lot about. She's seen her on YouTube clips. She's watched her fight live, and we're talking about Morel McCain. Well, Amanda Kandula is from the King of the Ring Boxing Club in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. And even though she's had very little experience, she says, I want this fight. I don't care what she does. I don't care who she's beaten. I want to see what all the fuss is all about. And all the fuss has been about the young lady that you and I have seen grow up before our very eyes. And she comes out of the Bob Davis Boxing Club. Extraordinary story from Cleveland, Ohio. The one, the only Morel McCain. Now, there's a young lady who's going to be finding out. Amanda says, I'm ready. King of the Ring. She has a shirt.
McCain.
There she comes. She's serious.
She's tough.
Look at her. I remember the first time we saw her, she didn't come out like that. You see what I'm saying? And now she comes out and she is confident and she's ready. And she doesn't seem to have the nerves that she had before. Anytime you talk to her, she's relaxed, she's calm, she's cool, she's collected. But one person who wants to make this big time is the young lady she's going to be fighting.
Yep.
There she is. The one, the only, Morel McCain. Morel is having fun in there. All right, well, the young lady she's about to fight hasn't had as many fights, but she's ready to do big things. We're going to find out exactly how good she is and how good she plans to be, because she's fighting. Did you realize that Morel McCain at 152 pounds fought the #1 fighter this summer in the world and won?
In Hawaii?
That fight that she had on TV 20.
It was the #1?
She was the #1 in that weight class.
Oh, wow.
And Morel McCain beat her.
Wow.
And beat her like it was nothing. So what we could see is that the launching of a future star of boxing.
Definitely.
Clifford Pinckney is going to be our referee. He is in the ring. And this is going to be interesting. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Paul Schill. Give it up, Paul. This is a good one. I'm ready for this one, Paul. It's all you, Paul. Make it big, Paul. Do it like your name is Ronnie Duncan, Paul. Say who's in the ring now.
Alrighty, thank you, sir. And here we go, boxing fans. We are ready for our next bout of the evening in the 152-pound division. 3 2-minute rounds to determine who is the Queen of the Ring champion. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, representing the King of the Ring Boxing Club all the way from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Please welcome Aman Kandula. And her opponent fights out of the blue corner, represents the Bob Davis Boxing Club from Cleveland, Ohio, Morel McCain.
Frank Steele, right?
Well, here we are, ready for our, of course, main event. And of course it is Amanda taking on Morel McCain. Aman Kandula. Aman Kandula says she's looked at a lot of tape of Morel McCain.
That's right hand.
But that right hand by Morel McCain got straight through. She said our styles are very similar. Well, I haven't seen a similarity yet.
Right.
But we will see in the future.
She's definitely using that jab, which is key. Nice body work coming back upstairs.
She said she came into the gym not long ago, did some cardio work. She said, I like this sport. Let's see if that love affair continues after being in the ring with Morel McCain.
Oh, nice, ooh, right hands. Ooh, nice body shot.
Body shot by Morel McCain, and you can see the pain on the face of the young lady from Canada, Kandula.
You can tell she's breathing heavy already, too. Those body shots.
Aman Kandula.
Nice right hand. Ooh.
She just took another right hand that time, and she's hurt. And Clifford Pinckney did the right thing by making sure.
She's still hurt, you can tell. She's hurt, look.
She's looking at her corner and saying, I don't know if I can continue.
She doesn't want to fight
this
anymore.
good assault. And Clifford Pinckney is looking and saying, do you want to continue?
Yeah,
okay, she says she wants to continue.
She's going for the kill, you can tell.
Maybe this is an unfair matchup, but you can't say it because Morel McCain has only had 10 fights. And we can't penalize her for the progress that she's made in the gym, which has been extraordinary.
Some people pick it up quicker than others, man.
And she does. And she's picking it up, and she's loving what she's doing. And she's good at what she's doing.
Bush is a great coach, man.
Well, his father was one, Bob Davis.
Yeah, Bob Davis, yeah.
You know what? When you talk about the king of the ring and all the great action, look at this. Look at that right hand. It took her head almost off her neck. And see, what we're seeing is better punching power from Morrell McCain.
Right, right.
See? Right hand, left hand. This is target practice.
I think she gets this girl out of here in this next round.
If she doesn't, something's wrong. Hey, look, it's www.12roundsorless.com. They've been taking pictures tonight, and I'm talking about 12orlessrounds.com. We got to make sure we get them out and let them know exactly what they have been doing, because we appreciate them coming to all the fights and taking action shots and photo shots of everything that's going on. And that's why we're going in and giving a special word of praise and thank you to 12orlessrounds.com for doing an outstanding job and making sure they get all those pictures. So fighters, if you want to see pictures of the night, go to 12roundsorless.com. All right, Ronnie Duncan at ringside with you. Morrell McCain taking on Aman Kandula. Looked like Aman Kandula wanted to stop in round number 1 because of that right hand that she took from Morrell McCain. Now McCain is just taking her time in boxing. Did you see that jab? Looking like Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
I mean,
she's moving
on her
good in there.
toes.
Look at her.
She's feeling so good right now about what she can do in the ring. Kandula could be fighting into a trap. She's trying to make you brave, young lady. Get brave around McCain, and all of a sudden she's going to bring the pain. McCain knows how to bring the pain.
Yeah, definitely. She's looking good, man.
You know, for a young lady who almost called it quits.
Yeah, she grew.
Kandula has definitely come back with some stuff.
Right hand.
But there's that right hand, and that's body shots, and that's not what she's liking. See, McCain is a complete fighter. She knows that if I can't get you upstairs, I can get you downstairs. And then when she puts that combination together, it says something. I'll tell you what. The young lady whose family is originally from India, now living in Canada, I like her. And I'm going to tell you why. She could have quit.
Right.
But Aman Kandula says, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to give you my best that I have. If my best doesn't beat you, so what?
Right.
I can tell everyone I fought a former champion. And you know what? She's trying to give it to her.
She is.
She's reaching for that right hand. No, she's not able to hit McCain.
She
McCain
held
is,
him back.
but she did hit McCain with a body shot.
Oh, nice
McCain
jab.
sits back and looks at her. You can't play in the game of boxing. No. You don't play boxing, you box.
Exactly.
This is not a game. I learned that very early in my career. Boxing is not something you play.
She caught her composure now. She's more relaxed.
And she made it through the second round. You know, made it through the second round, was the aggressor in the second round, didn't win the second round, but was impressive in what she did. And her coach is very happy. Look what you just did. You lasted 2 rounds with one of the best fighters in the country. Maybe she'll make a mistake that you can capitalize on in round number 3. Let's take a look at some of the action there. See, look at her, moving McCain back. Yeah, she hit her. She grazed her with the right hand, hit her with a body shot. And has she hit her with that left hand? Who knows?
Yep, nice jab again.
She had some time.
Yeah, she has some moments.
You can hear the song in the background, right?
Right.
What you did to me in the first round, I got a little payback in the second. Ronnie Duncan and Wilkins Santiago, once again. Always a pleasure working with you, man. Tell everybody how they can catch you, how they get your handle on Twitter, Facebook, as well as how they can find you, because if you want to get in shape, I think you're the in shape doctor out there in Westlake.
Me, man. I'm in Westlake Title Boxing Club, man. I've been there a little over 3 years. I love what I do, man. I'm around great people, and I like to show everybody what I was taught throughout these years in a workout regimen way.
Good enough. He's my man, Wilkins Santiago. What's your handle on Twitter?
Same old deal, Wilkins Santiago. I'm just basic. I don't throw. Yeah, I'm basic.
You don't have to have a number behind it.
No, I don't need no numbers. I've had plenty of numbers before.
All right. Get in the ring, doing this thing. You know, last time I saw you, I was 58. Now I'm 59 years old.
I know, you're getting old, man.
I know. I can't see, can't
like,
talk.
I see like 3 more popped out on you.
Oh, gray hairs? Most definitely.
I'm getting light while I'm over here talking. I'm getting light up there.
Hey, just go ahead and get the LeBron James due.
Right.
Ronnie Duncan and Wilkins Santiago.
You ain't hear that, LeBron, if you're watching.
Hey, we don't have to hear it. We can see it. Okay. Enjoying the fight action. Oh, really nice combination that time by Morrell McCain. Morrell McCain is playing with her. At the same time, she's getting some good work.
Oh, nice right hand.
Nice right hand that time. Young lady from Canada is starting to bleed from the nose. Oh, she just took a ugly, ugly left hand.
Oh,
and then another right hand right down the pipe. Morrell McCain is chopping it down little by little, punch by punch.
Oh, nice
There's
jab.
another jab. Head went straight up in the air, right hand.
Body.
Morrell McCain continues to move and get it done. Leaving no doubt who is the queen of the ring, not only in Cleveland, but north and south in
nice
Canada
right hand,
and beyond.
Final few seconds of the round, she's looking sharp.
Morrell McCain. Morrell McCain is going to be the queen of the ring. Oh, yeah, it's real easy to figure that one out.
See, Candula, man, she held her ground.
Yeah, but Candula did. And what I loved about Candula is that she didn't quit.
Exactly.
You know, and she went with it the way we expected for her to go with it, and that was a wonderful thing to see. Fight action is pretty impressive. This is action, of course, from round number 3. Great fight. Even the referee, Clifford Pinckney, told me, he said, Ronnie, he said, it's a great fight. I'm glad I worked that one. She was tough.
Tough.
It was impressive. It really was. You know what? In a couple minutes, we're going to talk to a man who has really put not only Cleveland, but the Cleveland community on his back. He's the owner of Chicago Chicken and Waffles. His name is Donnell Johnson. We're going to have him join us down here at ringside just to talk about what he does and why he does it. We're going to put him on a mic, and, you know, we've seen him throughout the night. As a matter of fact, he's the gentleman that you see in the ring right now holding the belt. He is the proprietor of Chicago-style chicken and waffles in downtown Cleveland. And I think it's on Prospect. And
yep, Prospect.
Just a great guy. And anytime you can start to invest in our young people, he hires them. And that's what the city of Cleveland is all about. You know, Frank Jackson is about mobility, the mayor of Cleveland, Ohio. Frank Jackson is about making sure that our young people have things to do. And he's so adamant about keeping our recreation departments together. Last time we did King of the Ring here, he was there.
Right.
Let's listen to the ring announcer.
Boxing fans, after this particular bout, was sponsored by Chicago, home of the Chicken and Waffle. We thank you so much. You are our title sponsor. Thank you very, very much. Please, yes, a round of applause for the wonderful guys.
As you can see,
they came here, put out the great food tonight. We all ate really well.
I'm sure you've seen him before, but it's good to see him. I mean, a guy who goes ahead and does so much in the city.
We will wait for our decision.
Let's go ahead to our decision with Paul Schill.
Boxing fans, after 3 action-packed rounds, your winner, and now Queen of the Ring champion, fights out of the blue corner, Morrell McCain.
So there it is, pretty academic. Morrell McCain is your winner. It has been an exciting night, a great journey, and it has been, what they say, is number 8. I'm talking the King of the Ring boxing series. The best and the best of boxing. This was the war. The USA against Canada, North versus South. Doug Patterson and Productions Plus Productions has done it again, and we want to say thank you to everyone. For Wilkins Santiago and Alexis Haywood, I'm Ronnie Duncan. The next time you see us, we'll be swinging in the ring with you. It's been a fun night, everybody. And to the crew at TV20, par excellence, you guys are the best in the business. Once again, God bless you all. And as always, 3, 2, 1, I'm done.